And it looks like we are live. Welcome to Start Building Me, where I take you pencil neck geeks and turn you into hard men. Just joking, folks. Welcome to Start Building Me. Welcome to the Friday session, where I train people to get them into the healthy habit of exercise. Because, folks, exercise is mandatory. You cannot be healthy unless you exercise, folks. There are no ifs and no buts. You cannot argue with facts. A fact is a fact. Exercise is the cornerstone to being healthy, and that's why I'm here to do 15 minutes of training with you after a massive meal. Sorry, folks, I've been in the habit of doing it this week. I simply could not pass by the Thai restaurant and not get a pad ki mao and rice, folks. It was well worth it. But I'm feeling it now. As you can see, I've seemingly fixed up my camera issue. Very nicely done. Very cool. So we'll do some squats and some push-ups and get out of here. Jazz, evening, good to see you. Maybe a round of Counter-Strike later if you're up for it. What's a round of Counter-Strike go? Between friends, 10, 20 minutes. Commitment, running laps in office, as is the style of the time. Anyway, I'll set my watch running to see my heart rate and see how that's going. Just gave the Beetle a spin around town to charge the battery and eat some Thai food. And like I said, it might be hard to not belch up some gas or keel over and die. I've had 2 large portions with rice and a side. Seemed like a good idea at the time. It always does, folks. I don't know why I do it to myself on Fridays. Probably because I don't do it any other night of the week. Other than that, though, like I said, no lens flare on the heart. Very cool. It only took me 2 years. Well, almost 3 to figure it out. Using LED lights now. So that works a lot better. No lens flared hat, and I can come closer to the screen, and it doesn't give me that weird shadow effect either. Very cool. Anyway, let's get some squats out of the done, folks. What are they called? It's called exercise to start with. We're sitting back in our heels, weight's going to the outside of your feet. That's why you have arches in your feet, folks. Think about it. Your feet has an arch, right? Okay, great. The one night where I blindingly well have socks on, but they're dirty socks, so you might be able to see it after all. Drive your toes into the ground, the weight goes to the outside of your feet, you're sitting back into your heels, and that spot in the inside of your feet doesn't touch the ground, folks, and that's why when you're squatting, the weight goes to the outside of your feet because you don't want your knees rolling. Imagine what a skier would look like going downhill if their knees were doing that. They'd blow out their meniscus tissue in between the knees, and it would be a horror show. So, get out of here, little fly. Oh, you're dead. You're not going anywhere. Sorry, folks, you know me, on Friday I've been out in the sun. I've got sunstroke, like on a Billy Madison level, doing some lawn and laundry and everything on Friday to prepare for the week off, of course. Feliz Navidad, folks. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. What do the Jewish people celebrate? Hanukkah. Whatever it is that you celebrate. Best of luck to that. There's only one God, and you're standing right in front of him virtually now, folks. And that is the God of exercise, of course. God, get out of it, folks. I'm not talking about myself. I'm not that delusional of my grandeur. Don't let them know. So let's do a few squats, play some Counter-Strike, and get out of this place. We got to get out of this place if it's the last thing we ever do. But the last thing you're going to do, folks, is exercise. So there'll be some circular logic for you. If you want to get out of here, exercise. And when you get out of here, you're going to exercise some more. Pump the blood around your body, folks. We're not aiming to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock, who is natural, right, guys? The Rock doesn't do steroids, folks. I'll tell you the truth here on Start Building Me every time. Now, look, you can get amazing results without steroids, folks. there are a lot of people online that just see anybody with muscles these days and they're like, oh, he's on the juice. It's like, no, that you can get amazing results without steroids. And if you looked at pictures of me, for instance, when I was boxing, I looked exactly the same as when I was on steroids or was on peptides, which is basically a polypeptide, a peptide chain, and a hormone like testosterone is a polypeptide, so it's just a precursor to something like a testosterone steroid. All that really happens is it's quicker and it's basically quicker, right? So I looked the same, but from the same amount of energy that I spent at the gym, I got bigger faster, right? So that's obviously very awesome for an athlete, and a star who wants to be like Chris Hemsworth or whatever, who wants to be Thor, and they want to get him looking massive really quickly. Healing, there's a lot of countries where people still heal, right, and use those things to heal, and there's obviously therapeutic uses for them, so they wouldn't use them. But man, people are out of their mind when they one, it's just like everybody's on them, or then the other end is just as annoying when you get all these athletes denying that they're on them. It's to put it into perspective, I worked with people 20 years ago who developed an algorithm who could look at the ratio between your wrist, your forearms, your biceps, and your triceps and calculate to whether or not you were on steroids 20 years ago. So now with AI, they'll just look at your pupil dilation or something. They're like, get it, test him. It's obviously very easy to figure that stuff out now. And like I said, if you've got a purpose for it, if you're a paid athlete or if you don't do them, you're never going to walk again. Like, man, you'd be stupid not to take them, right? It's just one of those, black or white era issues where there is a gray area. There is nuance, folks, in these things. And for instance, mental health, they're starting to look at testosterone being a pivotal hormone in stability in men's moods, right? And this is something that I've known for a long time, something that I've experimented with endocrinologists, which was a reason why I was looking into testosterone in the first place. Well, there was a bit of a fringe benefit, bit of a 2-for-1 interest for me in any case, but it's one of those things, folks. It's I think psychedelics and hormones, if you, as a trader, I've got a portfolio that looks specifically into psychedelic companies that are like private companies that are researching psychedelic drugs, including stuff like cannabis, but specifically LSD and psilocybin. Some other companies, stocks worth looking into, stocks where they're looking into hormone balancing in humans, because trust me, as somebody who's gone through the crapshoot of mental health remedies, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, selective serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, and they've been nothing but useless to me, right? So I think there are other solutions in the realms of psychedelic drugs and hormones, but legislation needs to catch up, and obviously that takes decades for it to happen. Anyway, hope you've been doing squats whilst listening to my rant, folks. I'm still, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. Now my hat's not disappearing, but I'm still finding myself putting my head in the way where the lens flare would normally be. It'll take me a few sessions, I guess, until I get over the fact that I've finally fixed this solution. The first solution that I fixed, folks, was having an air condition and not doing this in the garage, where I'll just be sweating like a... Well, dogs don't really sweat, so I like this, sweating like a farmer John Pig. That was me, without doubt. I'm going to clean this floor like a jiu-jitsu mat, bang out a few more squats. I'm going to do 20 more, and then I'm going to do some push-ups and get out of here, folks, because it is Friday. Go. And I suppose people will be off school in Europe now as well, or getting very close to it. Yeah, 23rd. You're not going to be at school anymore. Germany goes to the bitter end because it's not your summer holidays like it is here for school. So you only get 2 or 3 weeks, I think, in Germany. But I still think those people, the Germans, sorry, are going to be on holidays as well, so probably most of Europe will be. So kids, if you're watching Twitch, you've got no excuse. Come and work out with Gordo on Start Building Me. Like and subscribe. Folks, you got to exercise. You got to exercise. It will change your life. It's not one of these things that's like, oh, where's the catch, Dave? Are you going to sell us some spandex shorts or protein formulas? No, I just don't want you to end up a statistic, one of those people that you see walking around all hobbled and wrecked. Folks, you got to look after your body. You got to work your body or your body will not work. That's what I'm here for. And also to get jacked myself, bro, because, you know, it's sweet being jacked. Not really jacked. I'm trying to lean out a bit at the moment and make my riding a little bit easier. My clamp LEDs, much more sophisticated now. Well, very amazing finally to have gotten this sorted out. Oh, apart from that I haven't had a shave. Oh well, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to shave your face, and know when to get drunk. I don't know where that one was going. I don't even know who that was. Who was that? Kenny Rogers, maybe? I was going to say Kenny Loggins. Not Kenny Loggins, Kenny Rogers. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, spoke to my video editor today. He's going to get back to me before the New Year's. And my app development, courtesy of Townsville Proprietary Limited. Somebody's busting out the fireworks in the neighborhood, or either that or somebody's house is getting raided. And I'll have my app up and running soon. I thought it was an 80s TV show theme. It probably was. The Gambler. I'm pretty sure it's Kenny Rogers. But my favorite song of Kenny Rogers is "Love Will Turn You Around, Turn You Around," which was from a movie in the 80s. No, the 70s. The 70s is that dirty era that was before our time, when movies sucked. No, that's not true. There were some good movies in the 70s. I mean, Star Wars, we were big fans of those. Yeah, Kenny Rogers. It was, the one that I was singing was Six Pack. I think Six Pack, yeah. It was like a lady and her kids or something, and they were like on the NASCAR circuit, or they were like vagrants or something. This is like the South Park when they're what is it, like Adam Sandler and get some vagrants and they go on a NASCAR. Chicken restaurant chains in the Philippines. Kenny Rogers Roasters. Yeah, no, I've been there. Oh, they had a few of them in the States. They're probably around in the rest of the world more so than in the States now. But yeah, I think I've seen them in Asia. I think, didn't we? No, where did we go? In Thailand when I was working there, we went to, not Kenny Rogers, Tony Romer's. We went and got ribs. Had a few Singapore slings and Mai Tais, knowing me, undoubtedly, folks, but those days are in the past. No more Singapore slings, no more Mai Tais, no more dancing on the tables, singing karaoke at 3 in the morning, folks. Getting up to iron my shirt, realising I'm still drunk, tripping over the cord, hitting my head into the minibar, opening a beer in the minibar to keep on drinking. Those were the days. They're no longer. They were great fun, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm the reason that the economy crashed. Anyway, let's do some push-ups and get out of here. I can literally remember sitting somewhere with a friend in Singapore drinking a $600 red bottle of wine. Hey, what's with my hat? The crotch cam needs some adjustment. All right, well, I can work on that. Fantastic. Tony Romer's, yes. Speaking about, yes, the subprime mortgage crisis. Everyone's like, oh, Michael Burry was the only person that knew about that. No, Michael Burry was the only person that had short contracts worth billions of dollars on it, but everybody knew about it. even like any sort of low tier bankers were telling me about it in 2007, which made me reduce my exposure in the stock market, and I put my money into BHP and Rio, not thinking that there was going to be a minerals boom in Australia, but just thinking if everything crashes and Rio and BHP crash, and Australia's ruined anyway, and we're going to be hunting rabbits and fishing, right? Now that was totally ridiculous. Like, it doesn't necessarily work like that at all, but it did pay off. I doubled my money, which was good, folks, because my superannuation lost 45% or something like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when the bloody lights. I'm not going to bother. So yeah, when the world started collapsing, and I opened up my broadsheet newspaper at Cerner, now Oracle Cerner, overlooking the harbour in Sydney, and it said, my bank, Commonwealth Bank Australia, said, we'll only guarantee you $5,000 cash from your account. And me thinking, wow, that sucks. That sucks for me. But just say you had $1 million, $5 million, $10 million in a Commonwealth Bank account, you'd be screwed. Now, 2 days later, they're like, okay, we maybe overreacted. It's not so dire, because they didn't want a bank run to start, folks. But I've spoken to different bankers in the city and who said regional branches are not solvent at all, right? So if you went to a bank now and said, give us 10 grand, they would try it if you like. They'll make a million excuses to say, why do you need it? Oh, can't we interest you in some credit products where, we'll give you 11% interest, and it's because they don't have the cash, right? So Dave's tip of the day is to always have a grand cash, provided you have a grand. If not, best of luck to you. Just joking. If you don't have a grand, get yourself a revolver. Folks, I'm just kidding. Don't kick me off Twitch. I'm just having too much fun tonight, folks. Don't invest in a heater. Don't invest in lead. I'm just joking, folks. But if you don't have a grand, do be aware that bank runs can happen, and when a bank run happens and the bank isn't solvent, then all the money that you have in your bank account is in fact only an IOU to the bank, right? Read your terms of conditions, folks. This is the same all around the world. So when it happens, the bank is just going to be like that South Park episode. Poof, it's gone. Get out of here. Bank's only for customers now. I was a customer. Yeah, you were, but then your money's lost and now you're not anymore. So get out. That's what happens, folks. And then people are like, oh, the government will help you get it back. That will come from a class action, folks, where a lot of the time it takes between 7 and 10 years to get your money back, folks. So if you're prepared to wait 7 or 10 years to have no money, then best of luck to you again. I'm not banking on being around necessarily in 10 years, so I'm not going to rely on that one. 8, 9, 10. Whoo-wee. Yeah, it's wild. As somebody who forecasts for a living, everybody's saying it's pretty dire. I hope they are wrong, as always. I hope I'm wrong. Everything I've forecast for the last 3 years looks garbage, but who knows what dead rabbits that the Federal Reserve Bank of International Settlements can pull out of the hat. I have a feeling that's why we're seeing wars breaking out, is because a lot of people aren't solvent and they're trying to make excuses for not paying, and war's historically the best way that you can dodge your commitments with trade disputes and trade issues. A trade war will turn into a hot war, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. All we can do, I know I'm speaking for the people in the chat right now is hope like hell that conscription ends at 40. And then I'll be happy to say this 40-year-old boomer will put his hand up and say, look, if you want me to go and frag my officers, then throw me into this wall. And I'll be like, oh, he's got a mental health record, he's probably not bluffing. And then I'll be like, okay, sweet. And I don't know, maybe they'll put old Dave on Work for the Dole or something. I think I'd rather that than go to the front line in Europe like my grandfathers before me, who were on both sides of the fence, and duke it out with the village idiots in Europe for the third generation. All right, pass on that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As always, folks, I'm not describing it because I'm wanting to get out of here and finish the rest of my pad ki mao. You can do push-ups off your knees as well. You can do whatever cadence you need to do. There's my disappearing hat, and I think I know why again, folks. Is it when I am closer? Yes, it still is. Oh, that's just gonna cook my goose, folks. You know me. I cannot let this stuff die. Never mind. Wonder why that is. At least it's not on the main camera. I can deal with it when it's on the floor. I'm gonna bust out 10 more reps and then get out of here. Finish my tie, play some Counter-Strike, and bask in the glory of a nice clean house. And hopefully my dogs are not up on the counter eating my dinner as we speak. They were circling like vultures when I came in here. It was the one night where Dale didn't try and jailbreak in the Start Building Me studio to try and have his way with my fabulous formats. So I'll probably get out of here, and they're going to have a chili off. I was interested to see how they'd go with the chili, and all I did is eat some of the chicken and just blowing their nose, and they were sneezing and they didn't like it one bit, so I really hope they don't eat it. Anyway, I went rock climbing today. My hands, ow! Speaking of which, killing. Oh, I'm real tough here, guys. Making fun of pencil neck geeks, and I'm just like, oh, it's hurt my hand. Before I was washing the dishes, and all my hands still raw, and I forgot when I was mopping the floor, and it just, it's like Beavis and Butthead putting their hands into the fryer. I was just like, ah! Anyway, it'll be good to give my fingers a few days off. Anyway, bust out 10 more of these, folks, and go and do whatever it is that you choose to do on this fine Friday evening. Like and subscribe if you haven't. If you're watching this later, I am gone for the week, folks. I will see you soon. I am not going to be doing anything for the next week apart from chilling out. Yeah, man, this it's this finger that hurts as well. Anyway, enough of shenanigans. Oh, that hat. Look at that hat. Oh, that's doing my head in. It's 'cause that can't be any light. That's what's... Maybe it is. It's odd that it's always just my hat. Anyway. I feel like I'm about to hurl. I'm going to do 10 push-ups and get out of here, folks. I love you as always. Have a great weekend, and see you in a week. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bingo bango. Sugar in the gas tank. Your ex-husband strikes again.